Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully you are having a fantastic day out there. I am Tommy Boy, and I'm looking forward to chat a little racing with you today. It's Sunday. What better we got to do? F1 is underway. The cars are on the track. We got world champions, many of them around. And these guys are putting it on the track. We got Fernando Alonso back in the ride. We got Sebastian Vettel switching up rides. We got Lewis Hamilton looking like he was eating well over the off-season as well. I'm not sure if anybody else noticed that. Maybe I'm crazy. But it looks like Lewis is getting a little bigger. He's getting a little big. We'll see. We got plenty of action as far as that goes. We got a little iRacing to talk about as the new season opens up here tomorrow. We got some new stuff in the works there. And obviously, cars are rolling in Tennessee. It's about to happen. Bristol Dirt, baby. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Sounds like you're in a hallway. Give me a second here. Let's see. Let's see. We'll see if that's maybe a little better there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much here for tuning in, having some fun with us here at www.BWSPORTS1.com. And check out all the fun and excitement we got going on over there. It should be a blast of dirt racing. I'm looking forward to it, Brandon. Absolutely. It's exciting to see that. And I'll tell you what, we'll start off real quick as far as iRacing goes. You pull up onto the Bristol Dirt that they just released there on iRacing, and it's like, whoa, it looks so much different, really. It gives you a more intense feel, I guess. You're looking at it, and it's like, wow, that looks just crazy out there. It's like more of a coliseum, stuff like that. So, give me a second here. I don't know if that's any better here, but it sounds. It looks like a coliseum. It's just a really cool look out there. Everything. So, definitely look forward to seeing more of what they put into Bristol. And the dirt, everything like that. So outside of that, yeah, we look forward to. I'm trying to think out. We got Hockenheim, which I have not tried yet. Looking forward to that. I have not gotten in that. And then they release a McLaren come, and it was Thursday. So kind of surprised. It's just like a boom. Here it is. Have fun. So outside of that, we just we look forward to the new season opening up here. Really seeing what series they're going to bring. I know I saw some different sets, things like that, and just getting it handled out there. So I'm looking forward to it. So we dive into the world of Formula One. And we see what we got going here in F1. And let's take a look. We'll do a whole dive in here. I'm gonna give you who I think is gonna be the rundown here from 20th down to who I believe will be your new champion in Formula One here this coming year. Then we'll talk a little NASCAR today because we're still Phoenix. We won't deny the fact that. No, I don't, Daniel. Won't deny the fact, guys. I feel like I need to stop. Give me a second here. Check. Give me 1 second here. We'll get it fixed. Try to figure out what's going on there. Maybe that was it. We'll see. They're looking forward. We got. I think starting in the back of the field in 20th, that you really have to look at Williams and see their progress. that they've made, because I do believe that they have made progress. But at the same respect, I think I just don't see this driver necessarily being the person to really take them over. And I don't think Nicholas Latifi gets out of that 20th spot here this year. It'll be a tough ride for him. He knows that he's got a lot on the line as well, but I think at the end of the day, we're going to see Latifi in that 20th spot. He's going to be battling this man right here for that bottom roll, and that would be Nikita Mazepin. And I really think with Nikita that he showed a lot of aggression in F2. He said he was not going to let the aggression roll in and roll on through the current F1 season, if you will. But with that said, you look at practice, he's following guys pretty close, he's pulling up to these guys, and it really makes you wonder. It's like, I don't know if that's what we're thinking here. So then we look into down the line here, and another driver that I do believe he's shown glimpses of some positivity. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, I just don't think he's going to be a driver we're going to see too long here in Formula One. That's Antonio Giovinazzi. I don't see him progressing too far out of that Alfa Romeo seat, and it's okay, I got it. So I just don't see Antonio outperforming his teammate, the world champion, Kimi Räikkönen, and it's going to be tough in that ride to really pull anything through. So going forward, we look at, and for the exact reason that KT said right there, it's a 2021 car. They're not developing this year's car. It's pretty much what it is. It is. We're putting our money into the next year. We're trying to really get this ball rolling with this driver, and that is Mick Schumacher. And something I found a little weird, I don't know if you call it weird, what do you call it, but you see in the listings on the side, the rundown, if you will, of the drivers. And with that, the drivers, you always used to see Schumacher as SCH. Well, now Mick is like MSH. So it's like, whoa, that threw me off there. That he kind of switched that off, and I don't know if it's so much he wants to break away from that the vision or the shadow of his father, but in my opinion, in that case, is I don't know. It threw me off. Number one, I was looking for SCH, but it's just I think he wants to be seen as his own driver. And you can't be upset about that. Another thing that people were upset with Mick saying this past week was the car's just the colors right now. It's nothing. I'm not worried about the Russian flag or whatever it be on there. It is what it is. So it's interesting to kind of see his persona, if you will, because he's going to be in the media. They're always going to be talking to Mick Schumacher, especially throughout this year, his first year in F1. So it's going to be interesting to see it going forward. I think he's a good driver, but this year, I just see him, he's 17. I just don't see him really getting up there anymore. So we progress forward, and we're looking 16th place now. We're still in these same few teams here. I'm going back to Williams and George Russell here. I think we've seen glimpses of what Russell can do. And again, Williams does have a little better car, I think, than last year. And with that ride, it's going to be an interesting look in to see what Russell can really push a car's limits to. Obviously, like I said, we've seen it before but now that he's got that little better edge here, I think all these races you're expected to finish above Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, Nikita, and Latifi. If not Kimi, they might put Kimi into that mix for George Russell in the expectations they're going to have for him at Williams this year. It'll be interesting to see kind of the way they look at that, because Russell has came out himself and also said that, hey, I'm not promised anything. Toto has came out and said, we've never promised him anything. So he's not guaranteed that seat like everybody seems to think. I think we always kind of forget that Lando Norris is off in the skirts of the Mercedes world. They've got their eyes on him. So definitely an option there. Excuse me. To keep out there, but I think George has a solid year in what he has, and next year I do believe we see him in a better ride. I don't know if that's a Mercedes. I say he's in a better ride. We look down. We're going to close off the bottom 5 here, and it's a former world champion. It's just because of the ride he's in. I just don't think that Alfa Romeo is a strong ride in itself, and I think Kimi Räikkönen finds himself in 15th. Excuse me, my goodness, here today. It'll be... Yeah, I knew somebody was going to say something. No, it's something else, Mike, trust me. Then we're going to keep going, because I don't think there's much to say here with Kimi. He's a fantastic driver in bad equipment. He still loves to do what he's doing, and that's why he's out there. So I applaud Kimi for doing that and still progressing the car with the team and moving forward here. But I just don't see him competing for anything in this coming year. In 14th, another rookie to the series, I think is going to be a pretty solid run here. They've got a great car behind them. They pulled a win. Scott, yeah, I know. I don't know how to fix it. We pulled a win out, and at the end of the day, I think Yuki Tsunoda is an interesting person to look at right there. With Yuki Tsunoda, I think that's a solid opportunity, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's see here. What else we got? Go down to 13th, and he had a good year last year. I think that to hit on your thing real quick, KT, I don't think Alpha has anybody else that they could really put in that seat that is going to do better than him right now. I think that they need to hold off and they need to wait and find somebody that they can get in there that's going to do better, in my mind. So the 13th place, we go back, and like I was saying, he's teamed up with the world champion. We've never seen, to my recollection, this guy gel well with a team as far as it comes. So I think that's going to affect this man itself as a driver. His new teammate, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, I think falls to 13th. I think that Alpine has some solid capabilities. It's a solid car. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have what we're looking for as far as that team aspect goes. As far as that goes, it's a tough run. We look and we see, like I said, it just seems that anytime Fernando puts himself into a team, it could be different. I don't know, but it just hasn't seemed to pull out very well in the past. I don't think it works here, and I think it was a Hail Mary as a temporary solution, but at the end of the day, nothing we can do to fix it. So we'll see how it works out. Like I said, I think Esteban Ocon is the person that is going to end up taking the brunt of that. So look down the line now, and in a new color, same ride, same team himself. I shouldn't say the same ride because it is not the same ride. It is now Aston Martin. I think Lance Stroll, we see glimpses again of a solid driver with Lance Stroll, but my thing on Lance is he doesn't have the situational awareness, I guess. Like where you're at on the track, he's just made. Like, we look at the dumb moves that Leclerc's made. We look at the dumb moves that Verstappen has made in the middle of a race. And I feel like Stroll multiplies those. He takes those up, and he just makes too many mistakes. He makes too many errors. He really beat himself up last year after he had a solid finish, and then just couldn't get a run really going. And you saw him just woo. But he started to pick it up near the end of the year, so it'll be interesting to see again. I do think that Aston Martin team, it's going to be a fast car. They've got what it takes to make it quick. It'll be interesting now to see if the two behind the wheel can make that happen, because I think that's what it comes down to when you look at that team. And I'll say right now here, making a move that I don't think he should have made. Looking at hindsight 2020, I think this was a deal that, number one, Ferrari made quick. They knew they didn't want anybody seeing what they had for the year to see if it was something they'd want to progress, if it was something that the rest of the drivers felt like they had something for this fight. Final year of regulations. And I think Carlos Sainz finds himself out of the top 10 and starts really contemplating where his F1 career has gone, because you see such a solid driver like Sainz, and we've followed him for so long from Red Bull to Renault to McLaren, and it seems like each time he makes a move, it's the wrong move. It's the wrong time. It's something doesn't align, and it just doesn't work for Sainz, and I don't think this works for Sainz either. I think you find him in 11th, and I think a lot of people are saying, and looking into it, it's hard not to agree with people when you say Sainz is just keeping that seat warm. Sainz is a placeholder right now for Schumacher to step into Ferrari and say, hey, I'm here. So it'll be interesting. KT says he thinks Ferrari's got the car fixed and ends up a dogfight for P3. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. And see, and Brandon, I don't know, because what we saw with McLaren, he did drive that car very well. He had a solid run. And with that said, like I said, I feel like it's the song. I was in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. That's Carlos Sainz's career right there, unfortunately. So moving forward here, you look at the 10th place, and with this, it's a guy in a new seat. It is a man with a new plan. It's a man with a new team. The world champion, Sebastian Vettel, I think, comes in here. He doesn't set the world on fire in this Aston Martin. I think he's a different driver. I think he is a different person, really. I think we see when you get married in F1, when you start to progress your life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you start to progress your life like that, you start to fall back as a driver, in my mind, from what we've seen. I can't think of, and I look across the line here. I mean, you can see Scott Dixon, he's got a family. They're still younger. It seems like, especially in F1, you see what happened to Grosjean last year. And that makes these wives talk. No doubt about it. Like, hey, honey, let's sit down. We need to have a chat. And that can change your view. That can change your outlook. That can change the way you drive that car. But it's going to be an interesting. I just don't think since 2018, when Vettel was passed for the world champion, and it went down in a fire, really, with Ferrari from that point. They haven't had anything. It's been in his head, and like I said, I think we see some glimpses of Seb, but at the end of the day, he's an older driver that I just don't think is in his peak anymore. So I think he finds himself in the top 10 in points. He'll score some points here and there. He'll get a podium even. I don't think he gets a win in the Aston Martin, but I think we see maybe a little more consistency out of Vettel this year. Rolling into ninth, rolling into the world champions here. I'm going to put Fernando Alonso in that Alpine. He looked fast. The one thing I know it's going to be interesting to see is Fernando going to be able to take the pain? Is Fernando going to be able to really outlast his jaw right now? I think he's battling more so that broken jaw. They came out yesterday. They said, hey, he's going to have another surgery at the end of the year here to really repair that. You think of all the vibrations, all the, just the force on that part of your body. And I see some problems, maybe not early with Fernando, because right now he looks strong. He looks tough. I will say he looks a little crackheady. He lost the weight, and he might not look, to me, maybe just doesn't look as healthy. I don't know if he took it off. I'm no nutritionist, trust me. But he just looks off. And it could be the accident. It could be something there. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch how he really takes this adversity of that broken jaw and plays into that throughout the season. Exactly. No, it's not comfortable. They're in a tight. Right there, they're in a tight. You already got that when you do that. You've already feel like that movement there on your jaw area, and obviously, he's only 1 week off of a wreck, I believe, maybe a week and a half, and he got into the car here. So very impressive, and he was pushing some laps too. So, crackheady, that is what I said. You can coin that as a checkers and wreckers. When the driver's looking a little thin the next season, not as healthy, that's crackheady. That's what I like to say here. So that's why you do it nice. You do it healthily. Charles Leclerc, I got placed in 8th place here. Again, I think we see glimpses of what he can do as a driver. I don't think Leclerc is past that point of immaturity, of making those quick, maybe uneducated, unthought of, unprocessed, I guess, really. There is an echo, and I apologize for that. But the one thing about Leclerc, you're going to see him put it into places that necessarily might not see him go in any other time here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he really places this, how he gets it into perspective here, and gets it going to really push it here. So I'm interested to see how Leclerc, if he's grown, pretty much at the end of the day, if he has made it through, if he has really solidified himself as that top driver at Ferrari. Sorry. So we look down at 7th place, and we see that I have no idea what happened. We look down at 7th place. We see Gasly. I think this is where Pierre Gasly, we saw him take that win last year. An impressive win. Now, Mercedes weren't at the top of their game that day. I don't think you can. You see that placed out there. You see that said, but I don't think you can really hammer that down. I don't think you can really put that to a T there. So I think that Pierre has a solid year here. I think he is very comfortable in that AlphaTauri. The that is a strong car, and like I said, I think a lot of I like that, Tim. I think a lot of what we see here in Formula One is being comfortable in the car, is being comfortable in the team. I don't think the move to Red Bull was a good one for him. We talked about that before, as that you've just got too much over you. You've got too much pressure of being Verstappen's teammate. I think that brings a lot to the table in itself, especially for these younger drivers, and I'm going to touch on that here in just a bit. So I think Pierre Gasly has a solid year. Do we see him on the podium? I think we do. I think we see him a couple of runs here. So it'll be interesting to watch Pierre, and I think he's where he needs to be. I don't think Pierre needs to be at Mercedes. I don't think Pierre needs to be at Ferrari. I think he is a solid driver that has a solid ride in that, and I think it's really cool to see that bottom, if you will, Red Bull team kind of pushing forward and really having some success with Gasly. You look into sixth place now. We're almost to the top 5. Sixth place, and I got Lando Norris in that McLaren. I was reading something here. McLaren's been fast in testing, no doubt about that. I think Lando is a very solid driver. We saw that last year. He showed very many glimpses of just pure driving ability. You saw that he's ready. He's ready to be here. He wants to be here, and he's here for the long term. So I think that's a really cool way to kind of go around then too, is the way he does in that positive outlook. He's not a guy that exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. He is one for the fans. He is a F1 driver that has an IndyCar mentality when it comes to fans. In my mind, you don't see that too much. You don't see it could happen. I don't know, but you don't see Hamilton taking pictures with people. You don't see Leclerc out there taking pictures. You don't see Max out there doing that stuff. And Lando, he's talking to these people. He makes it seem like F1 is they're humans. These drivers are humans and not millionaire machines. So that's I think that puts him in. I think the connection with Ricardo is really going to help his progression in his career. But at that same regard, I think this year we're going to see that competition level that maybe Norris isn't used to. That F1, that cutthroat maybe. Because I do think Ricardo, he's been Verstappen's teammate. He's been at that top tier team. He's been there. And I really think that that's a solid run here for Lando. So I think that's going to help him even in his career progressing out of 2021. Donald, thank you so much. Appreciate that, sir. We look into the 5th place. Who do you guys think is going to take 5th? Because I don't think you guys are going to agree with me here 100%. I think it's a little interesting take I'm seeing in the top 5 here. And I'll go ahead and say it right now, is I think we see a Mercedes driver to hit off the top 5, and I think Bottas is going to fall a little this year. Mercedes has come out. They said they got a little slower car. They know that. They did it for reasons of handling, downforce, things like that. But with that said, I think, you string together 7, 8 solid years like this. This is something that's never been done in Formula One. all these dynasties, they come to a fall, they come to an end. And I do believe that this year Mercedes could be getting a little fire to their rear end here and seeing some movement in the standings here. So it'll be interesting. I think Bottas, he's a solid driver. He knows what he's doing. He's not gonna get you out of a sticky situation, though. That's the thing. So, with that said, I think Bottas finishes top 5 right there in 5th place. Move on. That got emotional. Move on to 4th place. And I'm going to look down at the Red Bull, the new driver there, coming from the what do we call him? Oh, my goodness. Aston Martin. Heck, I can't even remember. Racing Point from last year. And I think we look at that, and I think this is going to be Verstappen's best teammate that he's had. I think the reason I say that not only is because of his talent, but because of his personality, his experience in Formula One. This is not a young guy that's trying to come out here and set the world on fire. This is a veteran driver that knows he's coming into Red Bull to get stuff done. He's going to get stuff done, and I think that's what Verstappen needs as a teammate, is somebody that is going to push him, somebody that's not just going to roll over. Gasly just rolled over. Well, I think we saw Albon. He just rolled over. And I think what you need for Verstappen is that guy that's going to push you week in, week out, outside of your own team, outside of the competition. So inside of your team, because that run that we saw Albon have, things like that, it just wasn't consistent. And I think that with that competition inside the team, Verstappen then exceeds his potential and really can do some great things. So I think Perez, solid driver, great decision for Red Bull to strap him in there. And I'm going to put Perez in 4th. Going down to 3rd place here, going to round out the top 3. And I think with the 3 that we got listed, it's hard for everybody, I would assume, to agree with me here that Ricciardo would finish in that 3rd place. But a solid 3rd place, and he might be chipping away at these guys' heels, because with that said, I've been doing a little research, and that diffuser that they have in the back of that the McLaren, it's kind of the big thing right now. Yeah, okay, they found something, a little loophole in the rules to maybe put them above. McLaren knew, this being their last year, that they could go out and they could throw the checkbook at it. We're gonna throw it all at it. We're gonna bang it out here. I think we really give it all. We give it the gusto, and they're throwing every penny, every dollar, every dime that they can at this car. And I think they did a great job signing Ricciardo into this. I think he has a solid year and puts it in 3rd in the championship spot. And that's just going to open the door for the next year there with that McLaren team. I think we're seeing the resurgence, the climb again of a great McLaren team. And with that said, here comes the champion, the world champion. I'm going to skip 2nd. Because obviously, if I say 2nd, I'm picking for 1st. So it's more important here to get the 1st out. And with that said, we got a world champion versus the phenom, if you will, the eyes of F1. And I think Verstappen takes it this year. I think he gets it, maybe just by a little, but it's because of what I said earlier. It's because of the inside challenge he's going to have with Perez as his teammate. These guys are going to go strong. It's going to be a healthy challenge, though, I think, for Perez and Verstappen behind that wheel. And I do think that challenges Verstappen. Red Bull's another one. They know that as well. Hey, it's the last year we can throw the checkbook at it. Let's get out there. They also know that with Verstappen in there, they have to. They absolutely have to keep him. If they want to keep him, I should say, they absolutely have to win that. They have to get him a championship. They have to put him in that position. If not, he's gone. He gone, baby. He gone. He's looking elsewhere. As he sat too far behind a Red Bull with what could be a solid drive, a solid car. And just the one thing we're going to have to see is the reliability issues with that Honda. That's what's going to be an interesting one to see. And with that said, Scott, I'm going to have to say that it's going to be a toss-up. I think the Constructors' Championship is going to be a very close one coming down to the final. And I think it's coming between three teams. And the big three this year, in my mind, you got Mercedes, you got Red Bull, you got McLaren. And I think out of those, I do think Mercedes probably ends up again taking it just because of the consistency. Not sure Red Bull's reliability with that Honda backing away. Obviously, they're keeping the power plant, things like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how Red Bull works with their new hand they were dealt, if you will. But man, with that new, what I was saying with the diffuser deal, it'd be hard to say. McLaren doesn't, but Mercedes just has it down right now. I think they have a solid team principal in Toto, and he can really bring that team together. He can really, really charge it. I think he is the leader of leaders right now. And I do. I think it goes to Mercedes, as much as it pains me to say that. But it's going to be a tight battle, in my opinion, between the top three. It's going to be a fun F1 season to watch. I am pumped as I get to take a break. I get to go away next week. And during my vacation, we get a little deal with Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive comes back here on Friday. Fantastic. Even if you're not an F1 fan, if you just love racing, I will say Drive to Survive is a phenomenal show. What a look into the back end of F1. It gives you a perspective of these drivers. Just a really good vision there that Netflix was able to really portray with F1. So a really cool thing there. Definitely check that out. And you mean Mercedes is Braun GP? I'm reading Braun's book right now. It's fantastic. I can't say phenomenal again, but it's the success. I can't remember I want to say Drive to Succeed, but I know that's not it. Driven to Succeed. That's the fantastic book I'm reading right now. Almost done. I've been telling people I was going to finish it this week. I'm almost done. Just about got that finished off, and man, just really good outlook into that 2009 season, definitely, but going into the makings of Braun there. So I got you. I see what you're saying. So yeah, it definitely. If you guys are into reading, check that out. I read all the time, and that's something I'd love to start doing a little book report here for the racing books I do. So check that out, guys. We got stuff coming to you left and right here at www.bwsports1.com. And let's chalk a little NASCAR here. I'm in a chatty mood here with it today. We got F1 covered. Let's talk a little bit of NASCAR because we are at Phoenix today. And hey, last week I was right. I nailed it on the head. And is Kyle Larson impressive? Yes, Kyle Larson is impressive. With that said, what's more impressive is the fact that Hendricks is on fire. Rick Hendricks on fire. He is blazing it up right now. I don't think we've seen Rick Hendrick really have such a solid team, such a solid power unit. We've seen at the beginning of the year a little reliability in the past, a little bit of kind of wondering, is this the Hendrick of past? This team right now looks like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, Mark Martin and Dale Jr. It's that strong right now. I think we have the weak link there of Bowman. If you would ask me my opinion on that, I think Byron, Kyle brought up a good piece here this week when I was speaking with him. That combination with Byron and his crew chief, what a team. These guys really gelling together. They're really getting it going, and I think that's something to watch as it progresses through. We see the champion Chase, obviously riding that momentum still. He's in a solid. I think he needs to really kind of shine today at Phoenix. But with that said, man, Hendricks, they're on it. It's going to be tough to take Larson off of that top hill today, as man, it kind of benefits his driving style. It's going to be a hot, slick track, so it's going to be interesting to watch Larson here again. He is going to have to start from the back of the field, though, Byron as well. So going to be hard to progress through the field. Short track racing here at Phoenix. It's going to be a fun one here today, no doubt about that. I think we see these guys really getting ready. This year is such a weird one for NASCAR. Not only is there six road courses, they got dirt. I mean, there's so much different here, and we're seeing that guys are now getting into the World Nationals. So Chase is going to run at the Worlds. You're going to see, I think Byron as well. So there's guys that are going to start coming out here and start testing the waters to get their feet wet on the dirt side of things, and just really see how they get this going. Because in this year, I really think each win is so detrimental when you have little practice time, when you have that, and I think that's the thing of the future as well. As these short practice weekends, they're going to try to keep costs down for teams, the travel, the expenses of staying, the expenses in fuels and tires during practices, stuff like that. And I think what we see is this is the new future as far as practicing and stuff like that goes. So guys are going to have to go out into different perspectives of racing, into different forms, and try to get their seat time then. So you're going to see guys making the transfer here, making these practice attempts on Bristol as the dirt's in. They're running here this week. So it's going to be interesting to see that. No doubt about that. We know some guys out there that are going to be pumping it up, having a good time. So we look forward to seeing everybody's live feeds out there from Bristol. And it's that time. We've talked a little bit of NASCAR here. Not much to say. Phoenix, we're looking forward to it. Should be a solid one. With that said, let's hear the Checkers and Wreckers picks of the week. As Checkers and Wreckers, I want to see your checker. Who you think's going to win today? Your wrecker, not necessarily going to wreck, but somebody that you don't think's going to do as good as they should. And a dark horse, somebody that you think, not a big name here, but somebody you think could pull through and get something going here. So let me pull up the starting grid, and we will get ready to hear it. Let's hear yours. And I know my checker pick to start off today. It was hard for me not to go with Larson 2 weeks in a row. I think he's going to be a hard one to beat. But with him going to the back of the field, I got to agree with Cracky here. He finished second last year. He's a guy that has wins here. He needs to get this momentum pushing again, as he's coming off of a great season, but a hard end, and that's Kevin Harvick. I think he's going to take the checkered flag here today, maybe get some of that momentum back in his corner, And back to pushing here, and we'll see how that plays out. You look down the line here, and we look at the records, and I think I'm going to have to go with starting in 9th, the defending champion, Joey Logano. He's had a tough week. He's had a tough season here, really, as he has had a hard time finding the end, bringing it in clean, and he's having these tough times with his teammate. I think that all kind of boils down and really makes for a hard season here. I'd like to see Logano push through. I just don't see it happening today. So I'm going to have to go with Logano there for my wrecker. We look down the line for a dark horse pick. Tell you, McDowell's having a phenomenal season here this year. I'm not going to pick him as my dark horse, but you look at the success he's having. He's really starting to put together something so interesting to really watch and see what he's got going. But I'm going to look down starting in 23rd at Tyler Reddick. I think Tyler Reddick is going to have a solid run here today. We'll see how he pushes forward in. Like I said, you got the sand on the track. That sun's going to be beaten down. Scott always goes with the LaJoy. I think he's getting paid by Corey to say Corey's name. Like it's like he gets a penny at a time every time he says Corey LaJoy. So, but what a run it should be in the desert here in Phoenix, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in here. Want to give a big shout out to each and every one of our partners here. MyBookie, Harman Designs, Chummy Motorsports, ButtKicker, Gamer2, Driving for Dyslexia, A Bruzy Racewear USA, Talk to Tucker, Shawn Nugent, the Rockstar Realtor. He's got some hot houses on the market right now. Check them out before they fly away. Got Rocket Racing set up in Doc Sports. Guys, on MyBookie, use BWSPORTS1 to match that bet. Also, RogueEnergy.com. Use BWSPORTS1 to get your 10% off. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining me this Sunday. I almost missed it. I'm not going to lie. I woke up, and my wife's like, hey, it's you got a little time. You might want to get to go. We all kind of forgot it was a time change. We sprung forward. Hopefully you guys didn't forget too much here. We're going to have some people tuning in 10 minutes. Where's he at? Where's he at? Guys, thanks so much. Appreciate you. You guys are the best. You. You guys have a fantastic day.